You're very welcome back. Now, when it comes to children and money, is there ever a good time to start teaching them about the value of it and how to budget?
Joining us to discuss is financial advisor Paul Merriman of AskPaul.ie. Morning, Paul.
Good morning.
Good morning, Paul.
Well done for making it in through the perfectly passable roads. Teaching our kids the value of money.
Yes,
The very best of luck with that. How do we go about that?
Well, the main thing here is that it can't be too early, you know, so you can, no matter what age, from 2 years of age up, kids become really aware of money and buying stuff, especially sweets. So I was trying to get the habits in as early as possible, as young as possible. And that's probably the biggest tip. They say, like a big survey for Cambridge University last year, a big study rather, was that kids' habits when it comes to money are set in stone by the age of 7. So it's very young. Yeah, very young.
Wow.
And they learn from their parents, like everything. So people tend to forget that when it comes to money. And I think in this country, especially if you go back to before 2006, maybe adults need to look at more about money as well, but the habits that are passed down from generation to generation aren't that strong. So I think it's about time we kind of discussed it more. And
you make a good point about the pocket money and the fact that regardless of how small the amount is that they get, there should be an element of work involved to get that.
Yeah, there should be, yeah. Especially, like again, come down to the chores. Chores are the biggest thing that people are going to say when you're giving pocket money to kids. Make sure they do X, Y, and Z before they get some money, which is great. But when they get the money is what happens after that. So you can obviously save a little bit, spend a little bit, and maybe teach them you're going to buy something in a couple of months or whatever it is, towards Christmas time or towards the summer holidays. Good way as well that when you're giving kids money is to try and match their money. So if you save, especially for older children, maybe teenagers, if you save X amount by the time the summer holidays comes around, mum and dad will match it.
Okay.
So they have to
there's a real incentive there.
Yeah, incentivising them as well, so kind of matching what they save as well.
So do we go down the road of, do we open post office accounts, some bank accounts, some credit union accounts?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the credit union. However, the EBS and Ulster Bank are quite proactive when it comes to trying to nab kids young. Obviously, if they get kids in their banks,
get the young savers.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Look, it works
but
well for everybody.
But it is one of those things, if you think about it, the bank that you start with, you tend to keep it for life.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and we said this before with students as well. I remember we said before with students started off in college, they're flooded with the banks trying to offer them stuff. So look, Ulster Bank have this. Remember Henry the Hippo from years ago? That's still going around. So they have the saving accounts, they have the little piggy banks. So they're quite good from anyone kind of age 2 or 3 up to start putting a bit of money into. The EBS are quite proactive though. They're probably the best bank out there, I think, for kids' savings. A couple of reasons. The main one is they have the highest interest rates, 1.75%.
What is the interest rate? 1.75%.
Yeah, so it's not too bad for the year. And the second thing is after 6 months, they'll top it up by 20 quid. So they put €20 in for free after 6 months, which is just a nice little incentive. It has to be a minimum balance of €50 in the account over 6 months to do that, but it's really good. And you can put €1 a month in. But the other thing they do is really cool, is they get gift cards. So grandparents or aunties and uncles can get a gift card from the EBS to give on their birthdays, and then they lodge it into their account. So again, getting into the kind of, rather than having the cards for vouchers or stores or toys.
And understanding the notion of saving for something, so that holiday, if it needs to happen, here's how you save for it, and here's how you get there.
I think I've always said as well, from a money tip point of view, for financial advice, for anybody, it's always good, even when it gets to adults in your wage package, to keep X percent, I've always said, the 20% maybe, in a savings account somewhere. So we can start that habit really young. By the time they get to working age, even their first part-time job, they're going to have that habit automatically instill them, and are going to just keep doing at 20%. So when they get into 18, 19, 20, leave college, and they get a full-time job, again, that's a very good habit to have for everybody throughout their life when it comes to saving. So again, the youngest you get them is better.
Looking at when, you know, whatever bank they start in, or you start them in when they're 7, 8, 9, 10, whatever, and then when they get to, say, student loan kind of... Where, in terms of which bank is best to go in terms of student loans and that kind of thing, are they all kind of in the same frame?
Yeah, they're all kind of the same frame. Yeah, they do. Like some of them are offering now Apple Pay and different things as well. So the kids are going to be more interested in that kind of stuff. But again, as you know from me in the show before, I always say that cash is king, and I hate to do the Apple Pay and the debit card stuff as well. So it's kind of counterproductive there. But the Apple Pay is a big thing with some of the banks. And again, when it comes to students, August, September is when the banks really come out with the offers, and they change every year. So for anyone that older generation kind of...
And when should you open an account for your children?
Oh, as young as possible. I think most people start with the credit union, don't they, really? When the kids are born, they set up a credit union account.
Most people go, imagine, start when communion time.
Yeah.
Okay, yes.
When the child physically has a little few quid then to do something with.
I mean, look, Ulster Bank did a very good survey last year, and it shows that it's up to €570 to €1,000, the average for communion confirmation.
What? How much?
Yeah, €570 to €1,000. Wishing you could go back now.
I'm making my communion
You
next
need to
Sunday.
do a deal. You need to do a deal with
Really?
them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
A revenue share.
Up to 1,000, yeah. So again, when it comes to this confirmation season coming up, so again, teaching the kids when they get that money to keep a little bit, yes, spend X amount, but also save X amount. And maybe that's the perfect time to open one of these accounts, you know?
I remember after one of our communions, I think it was the following week wanted to go to the big toy store.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I remember, I can't remember which of the lads it was, but he said to me, how much can I spend? I said, well, you can spend, 80 quid, 100, whatever. And he said, well, how much do I have? And
No
I went,
value.
Yeah, no value, see, but
no
he wanted
value,
to know
yeah.
how much he had. So I knew what he had, but I told him, you have 100 quid. And that's what he went in and he spent.
Yeah.
But it's learning the value of it.
Yeah, well,
That's
look,
the
it's
key.
an awful lot of money nowadays. Don't forget, 570 plus was the average.
Yeah.
Like, up to €1,000. It's a big chunk of cash to be getting at that age. So again, like I said earlier on, it's up to 7. Some of these habits already set in. They get habits from mum and dad. So again, if they get that big lump sum for their confirmation or even as young as their communions now, it's important to put a portion of that into a bank account somewhere and teach them that that's going to stay there for X amount.
That's an important lesson,
yeah.
isn't it? And
And
you're
maybe
building
keeping-
on that then
yeah,
going forward.
And maybe if it is that, maybe keeping 20, 30 quid in the room that they can use. Over the next couple of months, they want to buy match attacks or they want to buy sweets or they want to do something that's kind of discretionary spend, but the big money stays there, and that's for a big thing.
And you recommend 2 piggy banks?
Yeah, 2 piggy banks. So piggy bank for long-term savings and for short, not pension. No, not going to pensions for kids.
Might be a bit early for that.
It's a bit early, but there's no tax relief. See, don't worry. Don't worry. But yeah, no, I always recommend 2 piggy banks if you can get them. So one is for longer term and one is for shorter term.
Yeah.
So you can take this one out at the end of the month or take that one out for your summer holidays. Again, just
Very
teaching them
good.
in the brain that's a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Getting them into the right habits.
Getting them into the right habits early. Yeah, that's what it's all about.
Brilliant. Thank you very much,
Thanks for
Paul
coming on,
Merriman, as
Paul. Good to
always.
see you.
Yeah, likewise.
Right, let's